So next up we have gem pads. And so gem pads are these really cool things that boost your team's scoring potential. And so as you take on this kind of platforming ask of jumping on each of these gem pads to turn them to your team's color, it'll capture these gem pads, which will then get you a boost to your team's scoring potential. You can see on the UI here that the blue team currently has a 30% scoring boost, and that's because they were able to capture a group of gem pads. Now these gem pads have a stackable boost, and so what will happen is once you get a boost, kind of a radial timer will show up, and if you can actually get another set of gem pads, that boost will continue to stack, extend the time, and really up your team's scoring potential.
Exactly. Yeah. So a team are thinking about collecting and scoring the Wumpa, but then there's this extra activity of capturing the gem pads to add a boost. So your team's now starting to do multiple activities, and we'll talk more about that.
Yeah, and how you balance, your team composition as well as your team's activities of, do I want my team just to focus on, gathering Wumpa, bringing it back to my bank, or do we want that distraction and really the capitalization of that boost for our team's scoring potential? Now, because these are capture points and the player has to turn them to their team's color, this actually ends up being an area where a lot of combat takes place.
Let's look at a video.
Yeah, absolutely.
So we're now watching Coco play. And first we're looking at 3 gem pads here that she's jumped on. She's flipped them blue to her team, and she just has to hold them just for a short while, and then they'll be captured.
Yep, and then you'll see the boost activate on her team's score bar.
So that's a 30% boost that she's just got for her team. And now when she goes off to drop off her Wumpa, she'll get 30% additional score.
That's right. And so as we mentioned, these gem pads tend to be where combat tends to happen. And so what we'll see right here is the big 4-gem cluster here in this group is actually a hotly contested zone with a lot of fighting going on. And one of the things this is something that's bound to happen during a match, and you'll see the gems changing from red to blue, but that also means teammates aren't focused on gathering and scoring, and so you may sometimes want to cut your losses and just go refocus.
That's right. Looks like the blue team here have captured, or are about to capture this cluster.
And they did it just in time because you can see that their scoring potential was able to be stacked. That's so right. The 30% was almost done, and then they captured the 4 gem pads, giving themselves a additional boost on top of it, extending the time.
That's right. And we see now that it's scored with that extra boost.
Yeah. So those things can really, really turn the tide, really add some additional scoring potential for your team.
So we're going to move to the next aspect. Those 3 core aspects. We've seen 2. Firstly, the scoring, which was collecting the Wumpa, dropping it off at the bank to score.
That's right.
First team to 2,000 wins the match.
That's right. And then second were the gem pads, which again are these kind of groups of gem pads that if players can turn them to their color by platforming on them, they get an additional boost to their scoring potential.